Rachel Berglund and Simon Ianashku. Ms. Berglund, if you would activate your video, please. Thank you. If you would both raise your right hands for me. Swear the testimony in this case will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Ianashku, I need to hear from you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, I'm very familiar with Ms. Berglund's complaints or allegations because we previously had a hearing at which Mr. Ianashku was not present. He has subsequently been served as present today. And what I've seen from the evidence submitted by Ms. Berglund is that she's repeatedly telling Mr. Ianashku to stop contacting her, and every time she does, he uses that as an he then responds and frequently uses his state of mind as a reason for why he's continuing to respond. Mr. Ianashku?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you in Tennessee? That's a question. Are you in Tennessee?
Yeah. Yes, I'm in Tennessee. Yes.
Okay. You have, I'm pretty familiar with Ms. Berglund's case, so go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So first of all, there's a couple of blatantly false accusations here in this report that I'd like to cover. But first, I want to start with an apology. No. You're not speaking to her. This is not an opportunity. You are just addressing me on the legal issue of whether you have engaged in harassment. This isn't an opportunity to have any relationship with Ms. Berglund. So speak as to that issue. Right. I didn't think I was harassing her. I thought she welcomed most of my advances. I believed it at the time simply because, well, first of all, let me just say, she claims here that I went on her military base and that I tried to contact her and that I was hanging out in the area. Okay, that is a completely false claim. And I want to make this clear. I never stalked her. Okay, I never went out of my way to hang out where she might be or anything of that nature. Okay, that is a completely false accusation. Okay. Now, here in her testimony, she claims that that she told me repeatedly to stop over and over and over again. Your Honor, that's simply not true. Okay, it's not true. I sent her over 115 emails in total. Okay, she told me to stop one time. Okay, around email number 63. Okay, now she was firm in her response. I will acknowledge that. Okay, but Your Honor, I'm a hopeless romantic. Okay, it's going to take more than one response to get me to stop.
You were told to stop. You can explain to me why you didn't stop. You said you're a hopeless romantic. Okay, go ahead.
Well, yes, but the reason I didn't stop is for two reasons. First of all, well, okay, I continued sending her emails, but I also continued sending her money. Okay. I sent her financial compensation. And if you read the entire email thread, I don't know, did she submit like all of the emails or just samples from the emails?
How would I know? I have emails here and messages.
Okay. Well, that's fine. The point is that I have no interest in submitting all of it because there's a lot of stuff there that's personal and deeply intimate. There was sort of an implied agreement between us. Okay. She's my muse. Okay. She inspires my work. I've explained this to her over and over and over again. And I I was sending her money in exchange for the implied muse services. And if you really like read the chain of events that happened, and it's all very well documented in those emails, okay? Miss Berglund accepted, she never, I don't see any complaints about all the money that I sent her, but I can also show from the record, not only did she accept financial compensation for implied Muse services, she also actively participated in rendering of Muse services by posting photos on a social media account that are consistent with the content described in the emails. Okay. So she was cooperating. Yes, after she told me to stop, she was like actively cooperating. Now, I understand what happened. At one point, I went too far and I acknowledge that. Okay. I got a little carried away with fantasies. It's true. Okay. But there was a point after she asked me to stop where she seemed to me to cooperate with the implied agreement that we entered.
So I'll quote you. I have this old school warrior conquer through persistence, overcome all obstacles mentality when I really, really want something.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah. And you said, I don't know why I keep beating this dead horse. It's time to move on. But, and then you have paragraphs after that where you recognize what you're doing. Then you say, listen, I've been extremely unprofessional. It's very inappropriate, but I will continue my conversation. So, and I'm looking at a prior email which says in all caps, leave me alone. It doesn't say, explain to me why you want to keep talking to me. It says, leave me alone.
Yes, but Your Honor, in the emails that followed, I promised her that she's inspired ideas that are gonna make millions of dollars. And I offered to share my wealth with her, and she seemed like open to that suggestion at one point. Okay. Now, at some point, I got a little carried away. It's true. I'm a little too far. Okay. But the thing is, if you read the email chain, I told her over and over again, I said, if this bothers you, if any of this is like, you want me to stop, simply reply with the word stop. Okay. That's all she had to do was to say stop. And yes, I kind of pushed her because I was trying to provoke a reaction from her. I was not expecting this. I was expecting her to reply via email with a simple word, right? Because any normal woman, would, she's so stubborn. Like any normal woman would have like just replied via email. She wouldn't have been going to this extent. This is absurd, in my opinion.
And so I found it interesting that after you found out that being in Tennessee wasn't going to be the preventive measure to keep Ms. Berglund from seeking this order, when the sheriff showed up at your parents' house to serve you, you then responded by once again sending a rather extensive email to Ms. Berglund. After you already knew she'd taken legal action to get you to stop, you decided you needed to weigh in one more time, saying, okay, this will be the last time I do it. The last time I disregard your prior request will be this one. And you said, technically, I haven't done anything wrong because I wasn't served. I wasn't there. So sort of like, nah. I, yeah,
Well, I meant what I said. I'm moving on. I have no
all right,
interest
that's a good
in seeing
thing.
her anymore. And I want this matter to come to an end, and I will find a different muse. I will move on. There are plenty of fish in the sea. I just thought I was under the impression that she was receptive to my advances. She was not.
Ms. Berglund, is there anything more you would like to say? You're muted.
Your Honor, everything that I've submitted is true, and I trust your ability to judge the respondent's commentary as being untrue. Um, if you have any specific questions that I haven't already answered, I can answer them, but I trust your ability to judge the situation.
All right, thank you. Based on the level of persistence, as you using your word, Mr. Yanashku, am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
Yeah, pretty good. You're doing a pretty good job. Yeah.
Uh, Honestly, I have a pretty high level of concern. I mean, frankly, I hope your family members are there with you, or they're watching on YouTube and they're finding out things that maybe would cause them the same level of concern and can help you with it. Because it's totally inappropriate, and you place Ms. Berglund in a position where she has a high degree of fear based on your inability to let go when she keeps telling you to stop, and you run right through that barrier. Every time she tells you, you say one last time, and then you continue. Anyway, it's highly concerning. It's behavior that we see in folks that end up in much more egregious situations, much more dangerous situations. And I want to make sure that you understand that, and that the behaviors I'm seeing are precursors and with some regularity to really bad events. So let's cut this one off before it becomes worse. I will grant the request for the order you are to have, and it's me telling you, it's not Ms. Berglund telling you in all caps, it's me telling you you're to have no contact with her whatsoever. You're not to
Agreed,
go within
agreed.
1,000 feet of her home, her workplace. Ms. Berglund, this
May I add
order
an
will be in
additional
effect for 1 year
commentary?
from today's date. If you want it renewed, you can come back to court and ask for it to be renewed. A copy of the order will be available to each of you in the district court file. There does not need to be service since Mr. Ianashku appeared in person today. All right, thank you both.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.